Hey, if you love gardening like I do, you're always looking for ways to, well, have more places to garden. So why not look to raised beds? Now, what I want to do is show you a project where you can actually make a raised bed very affordably and very effectively. Just take a look at how beautiful these are. All right, coming right up.
The Garden Home vlog is made possible by the following sponsors: Gilbert H. Wild & Son, Sunpatiens, Arkansas Parks and Tourism, Ralston Family Farms, First Community Bank, and Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. For more information, log on to pallensmith.com. Now back to P. Allen Smith and the Garden Home vlog.
Hey, I've had the good fortune and joy to garden for a long time, and I'm always trying to figure out ways to get more people involved in gardening, because gardening is, I think it's a lot of fun, and a lot of people think it's a four-letter word called work. But there's so much joy that comes from it. Anybody that gardens understands that. So today I thought we might talk a little bit about raised beds and some of the things I've done over the years with raised beds. We've created them out of all kinds of materials. In fact, in the downtown cottage, many of you've seen, I put raised beds there 30 years ago, and I made them out of western cedar, and then I had to replace them about 10 years into it and replace them with a treated lumber. Treated lumber at that point was without any kind of arsenic, so I felt like that I could use that type of material safely. I didn't want the absorption of any of those chemicals in the foods that I might eat. And as I understand it, most of the woods that are available now that are treated, if you use wood, and raised beds don't have to all be made of wood, we'll talk about that in just a moment, I found ours to be very solid. We just use big wood screws in the corners and it holds them together beautifully. When I design raised beds, I like to think about the reach. What's great about them is you can sit on the edge of them. You can make them as tall as you'd like, so it makes it comfortable, and it's a lot easier on your back to have raised beds. But I sort of think about the length of my hand or my arm, how far it can reach, and let that determine on both sides how large those beds are. So it's easy for harvesting, easy for weeding, and so forth. Some of the benefits of raised beds, you may be asking, well, you don't have to constantly till the soil. You cut down a lot on weeds. I don't like weeds at all. In fact, I get great pleasure from pulling weeds and laying them on the concrete and watching them sizzle in the hot sun. It's a form of therapy for me. But I digress. Let's get back to raised beds. The other thing that's so good about them is I find them easy to irrigate with regard to water. Simple soaker hoses can be just run zigzag across the raised bed. You can plug them into I just hook them to a water hose and water your beds very easily, keeping the moisture off the plants themselves, which will cut down a lot on disease. Some of the other advantages of raised beds that I've discovered is that if you have problems with slugs, for instance, you can take just a copper band and put it around the base of your raised beds, and slugs will not cross a copper barrier. So that'll keep them from crawling up. So it's a good way to keep the varmints or critters out of your bed. Raised beds are easy to put netting over. So if you have problems with deer or you have birds maybe eating your blueberries or something like that, it's a contained space, which makes it much easier to manage. And the other thing is that you can start planting sooner in the season because the soil is actually raised, obviously, and so that warms up a little sooner than just the basic garden soil that you'll have in your flower beds. So that's another advantage. And going back to to what I mentioned earlier, it's a great way to get started gardening. So if you've never gardened before, it's a great way for beginners to start. What I always say is start with large containers and then graduate to raised beds. In fact, one year we actually did raised beds just using concrete blocks, and it worked out beautifully. You can make them as large as you want. They're just built based on the unit size of the concrete blocks, and you can even plant in the spaces within the blocks themselves. So that's an easy way that on a weekend you could put an entire series of raised beds together. Now the soil that you put in them is important, and if you have poor soil, if you struggle with a lot of rock, or you have really sandy soil, raised beds are the answer because you can get the soil right. You leave it, you rarely have to till it, You can just add more materials on top of it, like good compost that you might make yourself. And so in that way, it makes it, again, very manageable, and you get the soil just the way you want it, your plants will thank you for that. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to take an idea that I've done before, but this year we decided to sort of bump it up, make it a planter, a proper sort of raised bed. In the past, we've done kiddie pool raised beds, which are perfect for kids, particularly if you want to do like a pizza garden for them. You can drill holes in just a kid's wading pool. And but the blue color with all the dolphins and sharks swimming on it doesn't quite fit in the theme here at Moss Mountain Farm. So I'm going to show you how we mask this and made it into a very successful planter. And what I did in this planter is I used Sunpatiens, these orange Sunpatiens, and I used Creeping Jenny to spill over the edge to just sort of hide or conceal the fact that this is a kiddie pool, but not before we actually painted it. And we'll go through all the steps here. So why don't we get started? You can see what I've got here is a kiddie pool, and this is a used one. We use these here around the farm for our waterfowl. As you know, we hatch a lot of baby ducks and baby geese, little goslings, and at a certain stage in their development, they love to get out in the water. And so we use these kiddie pools for that. So I've had some lying about, and I just thought we might put these to use. And the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure, like for any kind of container, that it drains well. If you build a raised bed with wood or even concrete blocks, you're basically going to just sit this on the ground. But in this case, what we have is a container that has a bottom on it. And the first thing I do is just take a 1/2-inch drill bit and I just begin to drill holes in it about every 8 inches around, because you want this thing to drain. You don't want it sitting in water unless you're planning to grow water iris or something like that that really likes boggy soils, but I don't recommend that. You can plant anything you want in these. I really wanted to use my Sunpatiens and accent our pumpkin house. Many of you have seen our pumpkin house each fall where we completely decorate it, trash it out with all kinds of varieties of pumpkins. And each year I try to do something a little different. So this year I thought, hey, why don't we take these kiddie pools, 4 of them, 1 on each corner of the pumpkin house, and then take these orange Sunpatiens, fill it up, and have the Creeping Jenny spill over the side. So once you get your drainage holes placed in the kiddie pool, it's time to just take it out. And I painted ours a dark brown because I just kind of wanted it to go away. And you can just use an ordinary spray paint. And when you do this, do it outside and not in an enclosed area because you don't want to breathe those fumes. And I just did the outside area and just around the edge here, so that you wouldn't see any of the blue. And it's held up pretty well. Once that's done, it's just a matter of placing this. And what I wanted to do is to make sure that it drained well. Because, you know, up here, our soil there's a lot of clay in it. And I didn't want any chance of my Sunpatiens not performing, because they'll bloom right until November for us. So they're perfect for our pumpkin house. What I want to do is just raise this slightly, so I'm using an old pallet. So I'm going to place this, once it's painted, on an old pallet and then fill it full of soil, okay? And I'm going to bring the soil level up to here, and then it's just a matter of planting the Sunpatiens or whatever you want. I've got lots of different things up here. You could do cannas in the center, you could do daylilies, you could do grasses, whatever you want to do. But in our case, we just filled it with a couple of colors of Sunpatiens to make a beautiful mound of orange color, and then the chartreuse Creeping Jenny that would spill over the edge and eventually come all the way and touch the ground. Well, I hope you've been convinced to try raised beds if you haven't already. And just take a look at this with the Sunpatiens, how it's filled out so beautifully. From late spring all the way, well, till now, and well into the fall, this is going to be absolutely beautiful. So raised beds can come in any form. If you like the video, let us know. And also subscribe to our channel. And if you want to know when new content comes up like this, just ring the bell and we'll notify you. Till then, happy gardening. Boy, you guys are looking great.